All right, guys, so we got to talk about anti-Trump / anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin, who shot and killed one of his fellow directors or cinematographers on set, a woman, almost a couple years ago. He is finally being charged with involuntary manslaughter for killing or allegedly shooting and killing this woman while filming the movie Rust. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with kind of what happened, there was a big story again about a couple of years ago, I think the fall of 2021, in which Alec Baldwin was filming his movie Rust, and it's like an old Western film or something like that. And apparently there was a whole lot of drama going on set, as reports indicated at the time that the way that this film was being handled in regards to filming it and on set, it was very reckless. Okay, it was reckless. It was careless. Some reports suggested that leading up to this incident, there was accidental discharges from weapons, okay, that were being used on set. And right before shooting a scene, Alec Baldwin was practicing with a Colt 45 revolver that he had been handed. He had been told that it was cold, or allegedly he was told that the weapon was cold, which means that it was unloaded. And he, took it out and apparently aimed it at one of his colleagues, a cinematographer, one of his directors, and pulled a trigger and ended up shooting her accidentally, according to him. Okay, even though he claims that he didn't actually really pull the trigger, that the gun just went off. I guess it was an accidental discharge. He didn't know that the gun was hot. And that's basically what happened. Okay, I think one person was killed and another one was shot as well too, as the bullet had went through her and hit another person. Again, an extremely sad and tragic incident that, it's a shame that it took this long for charges to be brought against Alec Baldwin, when it seems to me that he clearly was being careless, with firearms on set, and that the proper precautions weren't taken. And, somebody has to pay the price for this. Okay, so we're going to talk about this guy getting charged with involuntary manslaughter. But first, I want to play a news clip so you guys get a better understanding of what's going on here. Take a look.
Santa Fe prosecutors announcing involuntary manslaughter charges for actor Alec Baldwin and crew member Hannah Gutierrez-Reed in that deadly 2021 shooting on the movie set of Rust. 2 counts each. The film's assistant director, Dave Halls, took a plea deal admitting negligence. He will serve 6 months probation. The shooting, killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, striking her in the chest and injuring director Joel Souza.
We need some help. Our director and our camerawoman has been shot.
In 2021, the Oscar nominee, in an exclusive interview with George Stephanopoulos, described the moment Hutchins was shot, saying he never pulled the trigger.
And I cocked the gun. I go, "Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that?" And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No.
But the FBI released a report last August concluding the gun used on set when fully cocked could not have fired without pulling the trigger, while the working internal components were intact and functional. Baldwin's lawyer at the time said the FBI's findings were misconstrued and that the gun was in poor condition.
How that live round got into the gun in the first place, you think we're going to find out?
We may, but I think that one of the most important things that happened was your interview with him. I think that it was devastating for him that he said he never pulled the trigger, and then an FBI report indicated that is very unlikely.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. The FBI is basically saying that Alec Baldwin is lying about not pulling the trigger. Okay, in this situation right here, I do tend to believe the FBI that he definitely probably pulled the trigger, and maybe he thought the gun was cold or whatever. But he is in charge of this set and was in charge of the movie, and he should have made sure that there was no live ammunition in the gun, before he got it, okay? I mean, I get it that you depend on somebody to check that for you, but, that's one of the basic kind of rules of firearm safety, is that when somebody hands you a firearm, you check it yourself, okay, to make sure that it's not loaded, okay, that it doesn't have any live ammunition before you start to play with it the way that he was playing with it. And he has to take some blame for that. Okay. I mean, somebody died, right? Regardless of whether or not he pulled the trigger, he still should have checked it to make sure it didn't have any live ammunition in it. But it is the question of, again, how did live ammunition get into that firearm? That is a big question here. So let's read here. The now infamous shooting death on the set of Rust has the appearance of a horrific freak accident. A real bullet somehow makes its way onto the set of the Western drama, and through a cascade of missteps, Alec Baldwin fires it from his gun during a rehearsal, tragically ending a life and upending countless others. But a 551-page sheriff's report includes a revelation that makes the October 21 shooting seem less like impossible bad luck and more like an inevitability. FBI testing uncovered a total of 5 live rounds of ammunition among the movie's prop weapons, 6 if you don't count the bullet that actually went off, killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and wounding director Joel Souza. The actor's public claim, quote, "I didn't pull the trigger," was also contradicted by the FBI analysis of the vintage Colt handgun that fired the fatal shot. Quote, "With the hammer at full cock, the revolver could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger, while the working internal components were intact and functional," according to the report. The FBI lab also states that releasing the hammer when it was pulled back only a quarter or half did not result in enough impact to fire a round. So again, the FBI is calling cap, right? They're saying Alec Baldwin is lying. Amid the hundreds of pieces of evidence in the case, these 5 items may be the most significant. The FBI analysis confirmed there were several other live rounds of .45 caliber ammunition present on the Rust set on the day Hutchins died, some of them adorning the costumes of other characters in the scene. All of the real bullets were embossed with the, quote, Starline brass logo, a company that supplies materials for homemade bullets. 2 loose .45 rounds were collected from the top of a prop cart. A third was in a bandolier worn by one of the performers. The fourth was found in a brown holster. The report didn't indicate which belt belonged to which actor, but a source close to the production told Vanity Fair that the bandolier belonged to the character played by supernatural actor Jensen Ackles, and the holster was Baldwin's. Through a representative, Ackles declined to comment. Okay, so the holster belonged to Alec Baldwin, in which one of the bullets was found in there. Now, again, if you want to be cynical about this, maybe, just maybe, the gun was hot because Alec loaded the gun. Okay, maybe he loaded the gun. Maybe he was trying to make some type of point. They were arguing, on set. Allegedly, there was a whole lot of drama and stuff going on. Who knows? Okay, I just find this whole situation to be strange. Okay, that the gun was allegedly checked. It was cold, and then he got the gun, and then, he claims he didn't pull the trigger, even though the FBI says he did. So he's basically lying about that. Who knows what else he's lying about? Okay, he did end up shooting this woman. Again, I'm not sure exactly why he would point the gun at her, okay, without checking it. Okay, even if it was unloaded, he probably shouldn't be pointing it at her. I don't know why they even have real guns on set. You would think they'd be able to make weapons that look close enough to real, and using special effects, they can make the guns, seem like they're real in the movies. You would think they would be able to do that in Hollywood by now, but apparently they still need, guns on set, real guns, which again is kind of why this happened, is because they were reckless, and maybe you didn't have enough people on set who actually knew about gun safety to prevent this. The 5th live round was found in a box of dummy ammunition, fake bullets made to look like the real thing for camera close-ups. Dummies are completely harmless with no explosive powder in them whatsoever, unlike blanks, which create a bang but don't have a projectile attached. This container is the suspected box Hannah was loading the firearm with. The box states this box contained 36 suspected dummy rounds and 1 suspected live round, which is the cartridge that was tested. Yeah, so who knows? Again, maybe they was loading dummy rounds in it or whatever, and they accidentally loaded it with a real one. And that's why they thought the gun was cold and they gave it to Alec. Again, I don't know. Regardless, though, it seems to me that proper protocols were not being followed. Okay, so that's the whole story on that. Now, we're going to get to the charges here and how much time this guy could be facing if found guilty. Alec Baldwin has been charged with involuntary manslaughter for the 2021 shooting on the set of the film Rust that killed cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The New Mexico First Judicial District Attorney, Mark Carmack-Altwies, announced the charges Thursday morning. Carmack-Altwies released a statement on the ruling saying, quote, after a thorough review of the evidence and the laws of the state of New Mexico, I have determined that there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew. On my watch, no one is above the law and everyone deserves justice. The Wall Street Journal scoped the announcement by several minutes, reporting that Baldwin and armorer Halyna Hutchins will face involuntary manslaughter charges. The incident took place. We all know the details about that. We all know that. It says here, according to Variety, both Baldwin and Hutchins will be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, which each carry a maximum of 18 months in jail. They also face an enhancement for the use of a firearm, which carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years. Wow, this guy could face some time. He could face some time. Now, again, will he get found guilty of it? That's a whole nother question, okay? But I personally, from what I read, you got to do some type of jail time. I mean, you kill this person, right? You got to face some type of jail time. You got to do some type of punishment. Halls will serve 6 months probation after pleading guilty and serve no jail time per Variety. Back in November 2022, Baldwin filed a lawsuit against the film's armorer, Halyna Hutchins, and other film crew members for negligence in handing him a loaded weapon. Yeah, so again, to me, it seems that that's probably the most likely scenario, is that she accidentally put a live round in there thinking that it was a dummy round or whatever, and then gave him the weapon and told him it was cold. That's probably the most likely situation. Who knows, right? But regardless, he should have checked himself, okay? He should have checked himself. According to CBS News, the lawsuit alleged that Halyna Hutchins failed to check the bullets or the gun carefully. Assistant Director David Halls failed to check the gun carefully and yet announced the gun was safe before handing it to Baldwin, who himself should have checked the gun, right? And prop master Sarah Zachary failed to disclose that Hutchins had been acting carelessly offset and was a safety risk to those around her. Yeah, so again, just all around failure, just all around recklessness. And this is why, people who hate guns probably should not be handling guns, right? Even if you are an actor, if you hate guns, if you're uneducated, you probably should not be handling them, because you end up with accidents like this. Who knows, if Alec Baldwin didn't hate the NRA so much, maybe if he educated himself on firearms, maybe he would have known in his head, let me check this before I actually, start playing with it on set, pulling the trigger, which he definitely did. Maybe this wouldn't happen. I don't know. But we'll see if this man is found guilty in the court of law. I just hope that justice is served. Unfortunately, this woman lost her life because of recklessness from, these people on set. It really is a tragedy. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.